We asked 5 business leaders why their companies chose their current work model. The answers? All different. Tell us in the comments, which perspective makes the most sense to you?
Hybrid,
Remote first.
And hybrid.
fully remote.
Remote.
So Peak is actually a fully remote company. We believe in having individuals spread out across their home offices in a number of different countries as well as different cities, because we believe that individuals can be productive working from their own setting.
Currently, PAVE is working 3 days in office, 2 days out of office. We actually started as 4 days in, 1 day out. So have always been hybrid, but a lot of focus on the sort of impact that an in-office culture has, while not forgetting about the benefits and sort of flexibility that the out-of-office days provide, an employee like myself.
We are currently working on a remote first model. We do have office space where the team gather and once in a while. Mostly on these days, we actually don't work. It's kind of team bonding. Our company culture is very focused on results.
We want people to start coming back to offices, and a couple of reasons for that is the individual productivity went really low. I think we did have cases of moonlighting. People, because working remotely, you tend to not be 100% right in front of the system, right? Versus when you go to office, you are there from 9 to 5, right? At least even if you take coffee breaks or, lunch breaks and all, you are there. The managers are there. They are there to guide you, to make, suggestions or improvements. And even exchange of ideas with your colleagues and all happens when you are right there in the office.
A hybrid model means that some folks are in the office earlier than others, leaving earlier than others, and vice versa. Some folks out of office, take that time working in their home office or traveling, and regardless of where it is, so long as the effort is in and the output matches what the expectations were set as, that's the productivity model that we found has worked most successfully.
Productivity, I think, is measured by teams differently. I know our HR team will monitor kind of use of applications, use of different systems, how much are we engaging with each other across different softwares. But in the end, it's also being able to meet deadlines, being able to meet different goals that are set out, OKRs, and being able to make sure that we are launching different products and being collaborative along the way.
You have to create situations where even being remotely, you can get together and maybe not necessarily talk about work, but also get to know the people you work with and even get more personal, on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think this is where PAVE has found a lot of success. Is the company culture was set during those times in office when the company was at its earliest, and then over time, as those employees, and the teams were built around those employees, it sort of continued to spread and sort of wore it on their shirt is, hey, this is what it's like to be at PAVE in the office on a Friday or on a Tuesday, whatever the case may be. Making sure to utilize those in-office times to celebrate, to enjoy the little things, even whether it's something that everybody does, like hitting the gong when a sale gets made, or when March Madness is on, it's on the screens and everyone's cheering for their own teams, all the way to understanding that when you need to have a hard conversation, being able to opt to do it in person and feel that sort of like person-to-person connection versus over a Zoom call, I think is a culture that permeates across the board.
It's a mixed feedback because there are people who want to work remotely, and then there are people who want to be on site as well. Again, both of them do come with their pros and cons. Unfortunately, there are those hardworking people whose calendar or whose work schedule is not a typical 9 to 5, right? They get overburnt, right? But then there are a group of people or group of employees who take disadvantage of that particular situation, and instead of working, they go missing in action, right? Like 6 hours they're not there at all when the actual productivity is supposed to happen, right? So that's why we have got mixed reviews from our employees, but we are trying to ensure that at least to start with, they will be in office 3 days a week.
We recruit a lot for our clients, and we staff professionals at clients, and we see a big difference between companies that have some remote policies or hybrid workplaces versus companies that are calling people to the office and or demand X amount of number at the office. I think that everybody values a lot the flexibility of a hybrid or remote work environment. And we had that since the beginning. So I think that the feedback is really good. Like, I think that this is one of the reasons why we have people staying with us for 9 years, 5 years, 4 years, and so on.
Pave's leadership has done a very intentional and strong job at hiring specifically for folks that enjoy that hybrid, time in office is there for a reason, time out of office is also there for a reason. And so largely I find that, my colleagues and folks that I work with are, this is what they expect, and they bought into this upon joining. And so the feedback tends to be strong in that a lot of us maintain what we joined thinking, which is I enjoy the flexibility of being able to maybe travel a bit or work from my home or my parents' house on a work from home day, but I also enjoy what it means to be in office.
We don't really care when you work. So you don't need to clock in, clock out. It's really an output-based way of working. So if you just say, okay, this morning I want to go to the beach with my family, but I'll work a bit later in the evening just to get everything done, that's fine by us. And I think that's kind of closely correlated with remote work. It's not just working from anywhere, it's also working anytime. It's also not being micromanaged. And I believe that's highly valued by our staff.
One reason why we shifted from a 3 days in, 2 days out was to, potentially be more attractive and land more potential new hires that maybe needed that flexibility, whether it be folks with families, folks with different schedules, etc. But on top of that, recruiting without that being a, hidden part of the gig instead having it be a little bit more forward and front facing. Hey, this is what we like. And if you do too, perfect. If you don't, that's cool. Has helped the recruitment efforts be pretty successful.
Pre-COVID, I think, it was 100% when we reached out to candidates, we would get 90% of them who would want to either relocate or they are there right in the location ready to work. But post-COVID and after this, remote option has been, favored by people, we have seen that percentage go drastically down, right? Maybe from 90%, it has come down to maybe 60% of the people who want to really work remotely. And we have those 40% of the, 40% of the people or employees who are willing to work either in a hybrid model or on-site, right? So of course, from recruitment perspective, our pool has become subsequently lower as compared to what it was earlier. But nevertheless, there are still people. And in today's market where jobs are of high demand and there are so many layoffs happening, people are willing to get back to work and work on-site as well.
I think that when we are hiring, the possibility of working hybrid or remotely is a big advantage. We always set up like systems and the way that we work in a way that we can focus on the results and the job being done and not on controlling people. So I think that some company that has some difficulties with the remote environment, they try to control a little bit more. But we always, since when we are hiring and interviewing, we always try to focus on, okay, you're here to get the job done and focus on the result. And together with that, you have the possibility to work remotely, but also the responsibility to deliver your job, right?
A myth about remote work is that people are not going to be productive, that no one's going to do collaborative work if you're not sitting next to someone. And I think that is entirely false. I personally have seen collaboration happen across screens better than it can happen across a desk. And I love, love, love to see that take place and take shape because people are able to connect at different times of day and not be dependent of when someone's in the office or able to chat with you desk to desk, but instead it's more intentional collaboration.
As a staffing company and recruitment company, we get to brief and talk to many different clients, and we get this sense that some clients feel that some people that are working remotely, they are not actually working 100%, or they may be eating popcorn and watching Netflix. But I think that this is not true. This is a myth for great professionals and for great employees.
We've tried different approaches to which days are in, which days are out. I've never found one that's worked like the perfect way. I've had the opportunity to work where the middle of your week is at home. I've had the opportunity to work where the start or end of your week is at home. They all have benefits. There's no perfect set, however. And when I have been working in one system, I've at times missed the other one and vice versa. So grass is always greener. I don't think there's a perfect answer to it, but learning and listening to folks around you has been probably the best way to figure it out.